What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. At this point, I've written over 500 videos about gaming, but for the first time, I'm sort of having trouble finding my words. It's not that this series has become trash or anything, but this latest sequel is missing a lot of what made me fall in love with it originally. It's disappointing in a way that I didn't expect. Alright, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself by accident. Let's start with its roots. What makes Marvel vs. Capcom so awesome? Two of the biggest universes in history are crossing over once again for an all-out legendary battle. The strongest warriors of Street Fighter, Devil May Cry, and basically every superhero movie you've ever seen in theaters are coming together to punch each other in the face and shoot laser beams. While there are some major changes in this entry, Infinite still controls perfect, and I mean that as somebody who spent the last 20 years loving this franchise. Pulling off combos, launching your enemies into the air to stun them, and landing super attacks is still fast and fun. They've introduced some new mechanics to make learning easier this time, like mission mode for training you to use specific characters and the new automatic combo system. Yes, you did hear me properly. They've built in an option to just tap one button to chain hits. If this was turned off by default or only worked in the story mode and definitely not online, I'd be more okay with it, but instead it is randomly shoved on us. This really highlights what I think is the biggest core problem present throughout the game. We're thrown into a project that, while fantastic, has a few really bad choices put into it, and we just need to adapt or stop caring. For example, let's talk about the roster of characters. Perhaps the most important aspect of any fighting game is really the people we can play as. Having heroes that fit our style of combat can make or break the experience, and 90% of what we're getting here is great. The Hulk is as slow and brutal as he's always been, Iron Man is still my best for air juggling, and Strider is stronger than ever, but there's a glaring lack of classic brawlers. Where's Wesker to balance out the quick attackers, Virgil to show off his sword skills, or any of the X-Men? Seriously, how the heck can you call your game Marvel vs. Capcom and purposely leave out some of the most famous names from these worlds? The fact that they don't have Wolverine just makes my brain bleed out my nose. That was my main character from the start, and now we don't even know if he's going to be introduced later as DLC. Moving past my issues with this, well, rather hollow roster, we need to jump into the solid fighting itself. If I had to sum up the new tweaks in gameplay in a single word, I'd say choice. We now have more options as to how we want to fight, instead of just giving us players that have definite strengths and weaknesses. This is because of the Infinity Stones. These rocks have massive energy locked inside them, so after you pick a team, you can also select which power you want to bring with you. Each gem gives you a different usable ability, like being able to teleport across the screen or suck life from your opponent. In the corner, you have a meter that shows the growing strength of your stone, and it builds up as you take damage. Get hurt enough and you can unleash its ultimate. These will do stuff like here, where I'm actually able to use infinite special attacks for 20 seconds, or this time where somebody actually trapped me in a prison cube. Combine these magical moves with tightly planned combos and you can start wiping people out back to back, even on the internet. With the game going back to 2v2 teams, matches are incredibly quick. In a matter of seconds, I can go from challenging the Demon Morgan in space to using my flamethrower on Nemesis in some mysterious lab. There's never a chance for things to get stale, since the next match is always on the verge of beginning, and even when you lose, you know that there's another fighter waiting. This is what I truly respect most about the shift in pacing of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's more simplified overall, but I think it's more approachable. More people are going to be willing to pick this up and become new fans, though I don't really think it'll draw in the ultra-hardcore audience, since this definitely feels like a fighter that's more about cool showdowns than in-depth mechanics. On the topic of looking great but not having much depth, let's end by talking about the awful story. Usually there's kind of a charming stupidity to the plot lines in games like this. The developers know that we really just want to see our favorite champions face off, so they make up silly excuses for them to get mad at each other, but here, it's not quite amusing, it just feels really flat. Our tale takes place after the robot villain from the Capcom universe, Sigma, merges his mind and body with Ultron from the Marvel universe to make a flawless mechanized form. Now that they're blended into one deadly being, they've set their sights on destroying all organic life in existence. Unfortunately for him, the portal he opened to combine these galaxies allows the best heroes from both places to also come together to stop Ultra Sigma once and for all. The general story here is really quite intense, with dark gods being set free, armies of robots destroying cities, and lots of random trash talk. My problem comes from the dialogue, which is seriously some of the worst I've ever heard. Characters are often trying to make jokes, or at least I think they are, but they're so painful they don't make sense. Hearing Chun-Li look straight into the camera and say, "I'm ready to do battle. Don't forget, I've seen my share of street fighting." I don't know why I'm giving her a southern accent, but why would you make a voice actress say a line that bad? Or at one point, Tony Stark makes a dick joke. Arguably the smartest man in the Marvel series, a genius who built a mech suit alone in a cave and runs a billion-dollar company, is gonna tell someone they have a tiny wiener? It's just so cringy, so really I have to recommend that you just avoid this mode entirely. Overall, I have to say that this game is made for the pure fans, people who just want some good old-fashioned fighting. When you're in the arena, scoring wins, unlocking new costumes, and using the power of the Infinity Stones, it's hard not to enjoy what's really been made here. Okay, so we've heard some good and some bad, but let's over the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite a 7.5 out of 10. Just as a little heads up, everything you're seeing in this video was captured after the day 1 patch, so if you were hoping that the graphics would get fixed a little bit more, this is it. The faces are at least better than they were in the trailers. I mean, nobody looks like a zombie anymore, but there are still some issues with animations. It's just such a small thing, nobody cares about that. This is about the combat. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been DreamcastGuy with another review. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Hearing Chun-Li look straight into the camera and say, "I'm ready to do battle, don't forget." Oh, hey. I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.